Hello all, Havoc here. Let's get ready to play some Space Engineers.
Okay, so in this episode, we're going to look at trying to get our facility laid out and try to see what we're going to actually need to get things done. So, in the last episode, I was talking about how we would make everything to resemble buildings from the Command and Conquer franchise. So, with that, I'm not sure how much of these things we're going to actually have here in this. Because, I mean, if we're building separate structures for different things, then I'm not sure how much of that we're going to have in here. But I think, for all intents and purposes, it's going to be great to have a place to start from. So we're not going to want to go to orbit every single time. We're going to want to manufacture and refine and stuff like that. So I plan on leaving the Kestrel in orbit. Gonna leave her in orbit with the space station and with guns on the station to protect her and the station. But when we're down on the surface, we don't want to have to go all the way back up there just to manufacture something. So we're going to need to be able to start our manufacturing process down on the planet. And so when we want things, we can definitely get to it easier. So, yes. All right. So first off, we're going to need a refinery. All right. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. And where are we at? Here we go. Refinery. So not only do we have the refinery, but we have all the upgrade modules that we can throw on it as well. So let's go ahead and do it like this. I would say my inability to place blocks properly, I'd say 3 is going to be enough. At least to start. Because that's a lot of production. It really is. Especially once you start getting the upgrade modules for speed and efficiency. So, let's see here. Let's take a look at the top. So if we did something like this, okay, so I don't know the name of the block's called, so that's why I'm not just typing it in by now. I'm looking for the sorter. Is that what it's called? Let's try that. Oh, it is. Ha! Conveyor sorter. Alright, so we're going to throw one of these down. And so we want it to point that direction. So we can use this to limit which ones go into which machines. Because certain ones produce faster than others, and some of them produce more than others. So obviously gold, we don't need to have it produce fast because it does produce fast. But things like platinum and uranium, they take a tremendous amount of time. So we can come over here and sort. We can click on these and actually pick. See, these are blacklisted. We want to whitelist. And then we can do things like gold ore and such like that. So we can do like gold, silver, easy things into this one, and then do medium things into this one, and other items like platinum and uranium, like I was just talking about, can go into this one. So we can put the speed upgrades. Are they upgrades? No. Acceleration. And what are those mods called? productivity, thruster, power efficiency, and efficiency mod. So this would be the efficiency one. This is the one we would throw on the platinum one. So we'd do like that. Whoops. Or we can do something like... So you can split them between two different devices. So if we do this, these two both can get efficiency. And we can throw like a... let's see, let's go back in there. Down here at the bottom. So we have power efficiency, and productivity. I think the productivity is the one I wanted. Yeah, it is. Damn. Alright. So those efficiency ones can stay. So take these two out. I'll put this, and that. And that was a total bonehead mistake. Alright. And so we can go back to effectiveness and productivity. Effectiveness is the one that will give us more of an item. So you notice it's basically opposite of this one. And I did that again. Oh my goodness. Alright. So last time we're going to delete that, guys. For the next 5 minutes. And now that one doesn't want to work because it's not connected properly now. There. And I almost want to just put these on the entire thing. Those are the wrong ones. I want to put the other ones. Like that. So it's kind of like the balance of moving from this to this to this. I don't know, it seems kind of weird, but I think it'll work. So if it doesn't, then, well, we always can reconfigure it. So I think with this is we'll be able to limit which ones go into which inventory relatively easily. I would like to do this without the inventory sorting mod. So definitely going to be using a lot of the item sorter blocks like these. And going in between different containers and stuff. So we come here, we'll throw down just a small container. Like so. To an assembler. And sadly, to get the most use out of an assembler, we have to use it this way to get all the accelerators on here. So we want the efficiency, not power efficiency, we want the other one, productivity module. Yeah, I want this one. At least I think I do. I haven't played around with the modules too much. I mean, we have them on the Kestrel, but that's not saying a lot. I mean, for all I know, the Kestrel could be totally geared up wrong, and we're totally hosed every time we use those modules, and that's why it runs so poorly. Alright, so that would be a pretty cool way because we'll be able to bring in ore. So let's hit 7. Like this. No. Ah, come on, Havoc. Jeez. Alright. For some reason, I keep right-clicking to rotate. I'm not sure why, but that's why I keep deleting the blocks. Alright, so we're doing this. This would come out like this. This is where our ship would connect. For dropping off of supplies. So the cool part is this is a one-way gate. And on the Castrol, we're having an issue where the automatic inventory sorting mod is pulling everything out of whatever ship docks, regardless. Like if the Scorpion docks, the Castrol will empty the Scorpion in a heartbeat. And that's kind of cumbersome. And to be honest, it's a real pain in the ass. So, something I really want to work on eliminating. So, yeah, that's definitely on my docket to try to. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to use the inventory sorting mod this time around. So I think if we did some like more productivity mods coming up. And again, we're just kind of mocking this up, guys. You know, we want to save the meat and potatoes for when we're actually making stuff. So what we do need to do is alright, so we have a small flaw here. Okay, so the flaw is that I don't have a way to get, so if a ship were to land and bring in more supplies, I don't have a way to bring those supplies directly to this lower container. So if the Castrol went out and harvested some materials and brought those back for the station to use. Oh, come on now. We don't have a way. I just totally just did that again. We don't have a way to get it because we have one-way sorting blocks. So we don't have a way to get the items from whatever ship we're bringing down. We can bring down ore, but that would be the extent of that. So we need to do this. And we'd want to branch out this way. And then we'd want this to go here. So then we would whitelist just components and ingots, or blacklist. Actually, we would blacklist ore, so everything else could come this way. And then we'd stem off of here. No, we're going to stem off of here. And again with the directional. So we have a flow. Everything comes in this way, comes through here, and it would end up coming back out through here. And then it would go to containers. Either through haulers or just through the vanilla large containers. I'm not quite sure how modded. I'm not going to get rid of mods, but I do want to kind of pay a little bit closer attention to which mods I use, if that makes any sense. Not, like I said, I'm not against mods by any stretch of the imagination. I just kind of want to be a little bit more careful about which mods we use going forward. So, something like that. I think that's a pretty substantial assembly facility right there. Especially as modulars we're trying to make this. Modular's not the right word. So I think if we cut this down, got rid of this, and we moved it down to about this big. Alright, so yeah, I think if we moved it down to about this by this. Yonk. No, too much. Maybe about to here. Yeah, I think about to there. So we can control X that part, right? Yeah. So something about like that is a little bit more manageable as far as a vehicle goes. As big as I'd been making them, I know it was absurd. But like I was saying before, until we figured out where this was at as far as size, it just kind of needed to be that way. So I think what we're gonna do is my entire plan, because right now we're just kind of mocking things up, and I'm kind of haphazardly deleting stuff and blowing stuff up and putting way too many mass blocks on things and kind of just screwing around in creative. So one of the things I want to one of the things I want to look at doing is if we don't get Planeteer within the next, well, I don't know, let's say that by this Thursday, or we don't have an actual timeline, we'll just start. I'll switch this over to off of creative to survival. I'll put the Kestrel in orbit, and we'll actually start mocking this up a little bit more thoroughly. There's a few things I want to work on too, is like if I build a building over here. So, new station. Oops, wrong button. There we go. So if I build a station there. Alright, cool. This is our barracks example. So bear with me here. I'm just going to kind of screw around a little bit with this. Trying to enjoy creative while we can, kind of thing. So let's go to here. Yes. So let's say we build this cool little barracks. Now we want to pressurize it. How are we going to go about doing that? So what I'm thinking I want to do for that, because like I said, we're working out logistics, right? So I think what I want to do for that is actually create an O2 farm, kind of like how we did on our station on our last build. Not to the extremes. I mean, I don't think we need 30 O2 farms. But I think, we'll put like, I don't know, like 10 down. Because I want to be able to have a little bit of surplus as well. And so what we're going to need to be able to do is we're going to need to be able to connect buildings together to get O2 from wherever the farm is to it. So I'm thinking that each one of the buildings is going to have some type of system built into it. So I'm going to kind of do something here. So let's say every building 2 blocks from the top, or 3 blocks from the bottom, or yeah, 3 blocks from the bottom, because some of the buildings are going to be much larger. So let's say 3 blocks from the bottom, all the buildings will have conveyor blocks on the corners. Actually, conveyor blocks across that backside because they're airtight. And then that will allow us to run connecting tubes to each one of the buildings. So if we build another building here, right here next to this, we can connect this one to that one, this one to that one. By doing this also, it's going to allow us to also connect power. So we can have our power plant be someplace else, and this will allow us to connect power to each one of those buildings as well. Yeah, I mean, we can joggle this around however we want. Then we got all kinds of cool things we can use this for as well. You know, it'll kind of look like a refinery setup at some point. How all the tubes are snaked around, and so that should, oh, it says not power, so G. You know, as far as power goes, we could always use reactors, solar panels, which we already had on our toolbar. See, like this one here, totally accident, but look at this, perfect size to throw down some solar panels. Whoa, did I like totally luck out on that size pattern or what? So, I mean, this whole system now is basically starting to become full-fledged just in this little time of doing that. Put airtight door on the front and we'll be good to go. So, I mean, then we can do this, and then I think we do something like this. Like this. Like that. Like that. So 3. So we'd go with 4 first. That. 3. Oh, come on now, connect. Oh, it doesn't want to connect the way I want it to. Alright, so we can do something like this, you know, walking around between the buildings. Get rid of this, get rid of this, there. So, I mean, we can do stuff like this, where, you know, it goes between the different buildings. Obviously, I'd want that to be 1 block closer. It'd look a lot cooler. You know, do all kinds of different things and just make it look like these tubes are meant to be here. They're part of the plan. So, you know, that's just the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about doing. So again, we have power and O2 pass through these things. Items as well. I mean, if we had an assembly or something, some type of, well, let's talk about building a vehicle factory, because you have light vehicles and heavy vehicles in the game as well. So we'd be able to make a small vehicle factory and a large vehicle factory for like harvesters and large lander ships, stuff like that. So, alright, we're going to wrap up the episode here, just giving you guys an idea of the kind of shenanigans I kind of want to pull off when we start doing planets for real. So like I said, if we don't see an update coming here really soon, like if we don't hear, like on Thursday when they say, this is where we're at with this is the state of the dress for the game. We don't hear anything about planets, then yeah, you'll see this quickly becoming survival, no longer creative. This will all vanish, but or we'll just reload the map entirely. And might keep this around as a creative map, just so we can have something to play around with. So, all right. So this is Havoc. Have fun. Keep gaming.